All right, what is up, NFL fans? First off, hopefully you guys have had a great holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. The football was awful, so I just want to go out, pretend like that didn't happen. Just see one of my levels is off. Boom. So yeah, I just want to pretend like that didn't happen. We're just gonna keep it moving, man. Cowboys won. The Lions just quit. Lions just decided to just quit and just lose to Brosner. And I forget the other. Oh, yeah, the Broncos won by 7 because that's what they do against every single team every week, no matter who that team is. Heading into this weekend, though, we do have some games. I do actually like the fact that it's almost this week is kind of thinning out, but we still got some very, very good games. As you guys know, normally we do this with Tony L. Tigre and our man DJ Sweet Lou. We still have the records, and they did give me their opinions, as well as obviously our total win-loss. So, I mean, we agreed on most of them, but me and Tony El Tigre went 3-3 last week, and Lou, he just kept taking the Ravens, and we tried to warn him, and he ended up going 2-4 throughout the week, and I believe, let me think real quick. I know I wrote it down. So that means Tony El Tigre now has the lead at 10-4. I am second, 9-5, and Lou is rough at 5-9. We're gonna go over those again later as we go on through each episode. So stay with me. But here we go. First game. Let's jump right into it. We get the Texans, who are 10-5, taking on the Chargers at 11-4. Yeah, man. Texans-Chargers, that's such a good game. Like we said, Texans 10-5, Chargers 11-4. You got, CJ Stroud and the Texans just coming off of beating the Raiders, but not looking great doing it. Only winning by 2. And it's just interesting because even though, yes, they have won 7 straight games, I do think it's interesting how quickly they kind of became everyone's, knee Super Bowl team, right? Like, I'll talk like, hey, I've been saying the Patriots. Some people have said Broncos, but the Texans, until the Jags just did what they did to the Broncos, I'm sure they rose up my radar. But until that, it was like, oh, the Texans, their defense is so good. But it's almost like we forgot what the issue has been with them all season. It's that their offense can just not score, right? And you kind of saw that with the Raiders in that Raiders game. Meanwhile, the Chargers, they just keep moving on. They keep beating teams. Their last loss actually was to Jacksonville. I think of 5 or 6 weeks ago. They did get stomped by Jacksonville. They've beaten the Eagles in that stretch. They beat the Chiefs. I know that the Chiefs, but before the Mahomes got hurt. This is an interesting game, and the spread is the Chargers -1.5. The Chargers are the home team in this one. So I'm in a tough position. Every time I take the Chargers to win, they lose. But I promise I was going to come up here and I was going to just pick the Texans. So I'll just stick with it. I'm nervous about it, though. I am nervous about it. I just think that, and yeah, the Chargers, I feel like they know that their O-line is hurt now. So even though the Texans can, ruin it, I just feel like Chargers defense is going to stay in the game. And I saw Herbert get sacked 10 times and beat, my Eagles. But the Texans offense can also not do anything. And I think that Charger defense is really, really good. So, I'm going to take the Texans, though, because it just feels like a game that the Chargers are about to lose. I don't know how else to put it. I think this is the game that maybe cements the Texans as kind of a team. But, man, I don't love this at all because, my goodness, I feel not great about taking C.J. Stroud and what he's just been putting on film recently, specifically against that Raiders team. But, again, Broncos beat the Raiders by 3. I think that the Broncos and the Texans are a good comparison. Herbert beat the Broncos. I don't know. I'm just going to take the Texans. By the way, this game is at Saturday, 4:30. So that's going to be a good one, a fun game. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it is on Saturday, which again is leading to a really thin Sunday slate, and I'm kind of okay with it because it really just leaves you one option with the games to watch. But we'll get more into that. Tony El Tigre picking the Texans because they have a top defense versus an injured O-line. I think, though, that O-line thing, it almost means a little less now because they're almost Herbert's used to just being under pressure at this point. He's got a bionic hand. It doesn't even matter. And Lou said he's going to take the Chargers because the Texans' offense is trash. Again, man, I can't argue with that. Texans' offense does look really bad, a lot. But I just think that this game, they're going to have enough to beat the Chargers. I feel like the Chargers might be Texans have won 7 straight too. But I just feel like the Texans have the best defense in the league. And I think that'll be enough against the Chargers. But Chargers' path for victory is honestly just playing better defense than the Texans do. And again, the better defense part is you kind of have to do it against almost a worse offense. Not almost, a worse offense, right? Because we haven't seen the Texans' offense at any real – they did it against the Ravens when the Ravens were looking like the worst defense in the league. They had it at points maybe, but we haven't consistently – the Chargers' offense can be up and down too. I don't know. These are really even teams. Vegas actually seems to think kind of the Texans are better because normally the home team gets 3, but again, Chargers playing at home, that's not really an advantage. It's a really interesting game. So I definitely going to love watching. It's going to be a lot of defense out there with a couple big plays. I just think Nico Collins gets those big plays and that the Texans will be able to beat the Chargers. All right, man. This next one's crazy. So it's never a slow week, man, with Glenn Doc Harbaugh as the Ravens, who are 7-8, are taking on the Packers, who are 9-5-1. Before we even get to the game, though, last week Lamar left the game, was injured. However, he still has been managed to now put into the media as the problem for the Ravens. His study habits, they're Kyler Murraying him. Said he plays a lot of video games, fell asleep in the film room, and all of that may well have happened. I just think that the timing right now, not just because they're having a bad season, I don't mind it coming out when you're having a bad year. Hey, look, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, these guys have bad games and they get blamed. Josh Allen, it was always turning the ball over. Now I'm one of the people who does it, And Jalen Hurts, it's is his leadership that good? This is why he's limited. This is why. So I understand like that part of it, but come on, man. I'm supposed to believe that Glenn has nothing to do with this. It's my Glenn Doc Harbaugh impersonation. My voice already sounds pretty raspy, so we're pretty much already there. I don't like what is this, bro? Like it's a smear campaign because Lamar doesn't like him, and I just think it's funny how this one got picked up by the national media, but not the other story, which again, it was a Reddit post, whatever, but it was with a wife of someone, of a player on the team saying, not just Lamar, it's cool. Okay, yeah, Lamar, they said Lamar has to get coddled and coached certain ways. That's why they coach in the afternoon. Well, from the Reddit thing that I read, it wasn't just Lamar, but multiple players on the team have issues with the Ravens. I think that Lamar as the leader is kind of maybe coming out, and I don't know. I don't think he's faking an injury necessarily, but it's all interesting. But I do think it's very interesting that got leaked this week. Not interesting. I think it's Glenn, dude. What else am I supposed to believe? It's all Glenn. And Harbaugh, I think he's on the way to getting fired. However, Packers, Jordan Love, he was just concussed. Probably going to play Malik Willis this week. They've been struggling recently, obviously, just with injuries, being banged up. So even though it's gonna be Tyler Huntley more than likely versus Malik Willis, I'm taking the Packers. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't even tell you guys the spread. Hopefully, if you're not watching it live, you'll see it on the bottom screen. The spread is Green Bay -4.5, and I'm taking the Packers. I think that the Ravens have more talent, but I also think that doesn't matter. Like, they've had more talent. They have more talent than the Patriots. And then Henry fumbled. Zay fumbled. Harbaugh fumbled by not putting Henry back in the game. You know what I mean? Up a score. And that's just what they do. I don't know. Like, they're just... And I think this is how they're going to cap off the season. I think this is how they're going to finish the year off. Right here, this week. They're going to lose their way out of the playoffs, not just have the Steelers go beat the Browns and then miss. And I do think, hey, look, Tom was there for a reason. I do think once you fall on, if they get to a losing record, like say they win this game and they beat the Steelers but end up missing because Steelers beat the Browns, just implausible deniability maybe of, Lamar's been hurt a couple games. We messed up playing Cooper Rush. I mean, that's just still should get you fired playing Cooper Rush over Huntley, to be completely honest with you. But whatever the case may be, you could argue that, all right, you know what I mean? It's just a weird year, whatever. I think if you just end it bad, even just going 8-9, get him out. And shout out, by the way, guys in the chat. I'm going to go back real quick. Miles, my guy, going back to our last one, he took the Texans. Shout out, Miles. And DJ Lou said, free Lamar. Thank you guys for watching, commenting. We love that. Free Lamar, man. Free Lamar. Get John Harbaugh out of here. It's not okay. It's not cool what he's kind of doing. And now Lamar is getting nationally blamed, which, again, he's not blameless, right? He's not blameless. He's been bad in the playoffs. But, like, come on, man. Like, Harbaugh's already gone if Lamar didn't come there and save everything. Save his whole coaching career. Dude was literally about to get fired. And Lamar went on, I believe, a 6 or 7 game winning streak as a rookie. Right? And then he got blamed in the playoffs. It's just funny with them. Real quick, Tony, actually, Ravens fan hater, says that he's picking the Ravens because this is a game that they would win because of the bad report that we just mentioned, slamming Lamar, and it would be a win against a fake contender. So a lot of loopholes there, right, with Tony L. Tigre's, you know what I mean, thing, but he is saying essentially the Ravens will win because it would be the worst possible outcome for him personally and Ravens fans, because that would mean that Doc Harbaugh is a little more likely to stay. Lou picking the Packers. He said after a disgraceful loss and assuming that Love is back, I don't think he'll be back, Lou, so you're in the chat. Feel free to tell me if you want to switch over to the Ravens before we end it. But he said that they should right the ship and score more points than the Ravens. I think it's going to be pure coaching. I actually think the Ravens have more talent, mainly because of the Packers. All the receivers die, and I think Derrick Henry is a better running back than Josh Jacobs. But I think that Malik Willis and Huntley looks cool. Huntley does do his job out there, I got to admit. But I just think that the Packers are just going to coach a little better, be a little more well-run, and get the win in this one. Man, this is this is it right here. This is a lot of this almost feels like a put the money where the mouth is situation here, because this week, Eagles, Bills, I waited to make it the third game because the other two are on Saturday, but still. The Eagles come in at 10-5, coming off of 2 wins against the Ravens and Commanders. Of course, that was after 3 losses. to the Cowboys, Bears, and Chargers. So bounce back wins, but again, bounce back wins versus bad teams. Meanwhile, the Bills, Josh Allen, they went out last week and beat the Browns by 3. Looked ugly doing it. Josh got banged up. It really looked like, the Browns did what the Browns do, which is just fold the game, but that game definitely looked in question. However, before that, comeback win against the Patriots. Maybe they were looking forward, ahead to this Eagles team and not paying attention to the Browns, which, to be honest, can't really blame them if that's the case. This spread, Bills -1.5. The Bills are the home team. It is going to be cold. I'm going to just guess it's going to be snowing, whatever. And this game has a lot of interesting components. First off, for me and Lou and everyone who's interested in these things, the quarterback comparison, everyone tells me that Josh Allen's better than Hurts. However, last time they played, Hurts was better. And I think they only played once. So I found that interesting. Hey, look, and again, it doesn't mean anything. Herbert just beat Hurts, right? Caleb beat Hurts. Dak beat Hurts. So it's like, it's possible. It's right there for you. But I do think that that's an interesting side plot. 2, biggest things. There are clear flaws with both of these teams, right? I've seen it's a popular thing. Who is this a must-win more for? I think that the team that loses this game will not make the Super Bowl. I just don't. The Bills, if they lose this game, will have lost to Patriots once, the Texans, who are going to be right around there, and the Eagles, and they're going to have to go on the road to win every game. And if they lose, it would more than likely be because the Eagles just run the ball on them, right, and are able to control the ball. And I'm saying that because the Buffalo Bills' pass defense is one of the top pass defenses in the league, but their run defense is atrocious. But if the Eagles this year are able to run on you, that's not a good sign. The Eagles came in, I still don't think they're top 16 in rushing, and they've been kind of padding up some numbers against the Commanders and the Raiders. Now, Jalen Hurts started to run a little bit more. Seeing a little bit of Tank Bigsby. They could be rounding the running game into form. But if you're the Bills and the Eagles are able to run the ball over you, and we've also seen the Eagles be able to be run on. My goodness. So, the Bears ran for 200 yards. The Bills right now are number 1 or 2. Sorry, I didn't look. But number 1 or 2 in rushing yards. Probably number 1 right now because they kind of went off last week. And Cook has been crazy. James Cook leads the league in rushing yards. So I think that's going to be an interesting subplot. Both these run defenses, leaky. Both these pass defenses, better than the run defenses. Jalen Carter should be back. I think Lane Johnson's coming back. The Eagles are treating this like this is a make or break game for them, as they should. I think if my Birds lose this game, I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl. They would have lost now to 3 straight good teams. You can't just keep losing the good teams and then expect at home, which you would be regardless, win or loss, but at home in the wild card round, if things start off a little slow, for you not to get booed and it not to feel really ugly really quick. I just got to beat a good team to give the fans and that team and that locker room some belief. I'm taking the Eagles +1.5, so I just think that they're better than this team. I could be wrong because obviously we know the issues. Patulu, he's a clown sometimes. I think that the offense has been better. But also, it's not like we're calling different plays than maybe we did earlier. I just think it's working a little bit better. Or maybe Jalen Hurts is getting used to the 5 wides and the multiple options and the ability to just get out of the pocket quick and run. I just don't think the Bills are going to give you the ability to allow his legs to cook them. And I think if you try to go 5 wide against this passing defense, you're going to have some issues. However, I just believe in them. And knocking on wood, by the way, for my friends. I am knocking. But I don't know. I'm just gonna stick it out with my team. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Tony El Tigre, he's taking the Bills He says that the Eagles' offense hasn't shown much this year, and the Bills at least have shown that they can come back and win a game. I mean, they did against Patriots. They have shown a better explosive ability against the Buccaneers. I would just say that the Eagles' defense is much better than the Bills' defense. But if the Bills get a lead and you have to throw on them, people struggle doing that. I mean, we even saw Drake May against the Bills struggle when they tried to throw the ball against them. They're built to really do one thing and win that way, but they can score enough to do it. So, hey, look, I'm not up in arms. Tone. Lou says, unless James Cook goes berserk, possible, by the way, I'd say almost a little likely, but those wideouts won't be able to get open. They'll get boxed by the birds, and they will cook that sorry D-line. I assume he means just running the football. So Lou is taking the birds. This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a great game. I am excited. It's going to be 4 o'clock on Sunday. God Lord. 4 o'clock on Sunday. I can't wait. It's going to be a good one. Go Birds. Win this game and prove that you're real contenders. And if you don't, you're not. And honestly, at this point, up and down, whatever happens, man. But still, go Birds. Yeah, this week, I love it because of just the way that it's set up, too. It's like the Eagles game is on Sunday around 4. You got the Texans, Chargers, Saturday. I'm cool with Saturday now. Ravens, Packers, Saturday night. And then this next one is actually at 1 o'clock. And I said last week, I thought I was going to do chores at 1, maybe not do it. But this team convinced me, so I'm excited for this 1 o'clock game. And here it is, man. The Seattle Seahawks, the number 1 seed in the NFC, shout out them, now have to defend that for these last 2 games. They win out. They're the number 1 seed, and they will be traveling on the road to Carolina, where they play the Panthers, who are 8-7 so far this year. The Panthers just beat Tampa Bay last week, 23-20, and Seattle, as we know, beat the Rams 38-37, an overtime thriller in which everyone was in the comments laughing at how we all got it wrong, but we didn't. Honestly, you know what? Till the last week's spread, by the way, Rams Seahawks. I looked at that spread right before the game started. It was Seahawks -1.5. We'd have won that, guys. We would have won that. We just didn't win the title, which is that we swept them. So I'm not saying we were right, but still, we weren't that wrong. So this is interesting. I mean, the Seahawks aren't right again now. This kind of becomes a pressure game almost, but it's not. But I'm not gonna mince words. I'm taking the Panthers for the same reason that I took the Panthers over the Rams. It's not that complicated, guys. I need you guys to pay attention. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta tell you guys spread. This is Seahawks -7.5. That's a lot of points. I'm taking the Panthers because they're at home where they're good, and it's 1 o'clock where West Coast teams are not good. And I think the NFL thought, like a lot of people thought, which is so funny. Next year I got to do the full year previews because I thought the way the Panthers ended last year at least showed me that they could end the year strong, and I actually thought that they were going to win like 9 games. However, I'm saying that because the NFL didn't think that with the way that they scheduled these games, because you're trying to put them in the East Coast, but almost you would want to do it against a team where it wouldn't be as impactful as this. You know what I mean? To where you're going across and you're playing Atlanta, or you're playing the Saints, which are the other teams in the division. But they thought that the Panthers wouldn't be good, and I think that, I'm telling you, I think if you told them the Panthers would be this good, they would have changed the scheduling, put these games at 4 to make it a little more even, because they've now got to play the Rams and the Seahawks at basically 10 a.m. their time. And as I say all this, I don't want this to say, I like what the Panthers do, I think Bryce Young is getting no credit for just having the clutch gene, which is crazy to me. I think they have 6 fourth-quarter comebacks this season. They have 8 wins. I saw something like almost like 11 of his 16 wins are comebacks. They're the Panthers. Like, they are supposed to stink. And, like, if Bryce Young, like, he's winning games and he's doing the stuff that I thought why he would be the first pick. Like, he's figuring out a little bit his elusiveness. He's got amazing touch on the football, accuracy, and that it factor. Like, he fought through a lot to get to this point. He was on a 1-16 team with no talent, with no receivers, because they traded everything to get him. And he was there through a rebuild, different coach. Like, I think that's worth a lot. I think this is the year that they get to the playoffs. Now, again, I don't know what they do there. I do think, though, again, this Panthers team, and by the way, another thing, too, the Panthers are 1 game up on the Buccaneers, right? They would have to play the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. I actually think that for the Panthers to make the playoffs, you kidding me? Playoffs. I think for them to make the playoffs, they need to win this game. No, I don't. Maybe not need. I think they're going to beat Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay is just done. I think Tampa Bay wants Bulls fired. But I think this is almost a better opportunity because they're so good at home. And I do think that a 5 seed should be a little wary. It's like in Carolina, they got some stuff. They're really, really good at home. That is the only reason they're 8-7. I think they have 6 home wins, 5 or 6, something like that. So I think that everyone is just they're not understanding what the Panthers team is. And again, that's a huge advantage. Like, they have a clutch quarterback, clutch team. I think their defense can be water, and that's going to be interesting, right? Like, are they going to put Mike Jackson, their backup corner, their second corner, not backup corner, but their second corner, who's not J.C. Horn on JSN? Of course they will. They don't like J.C. Horn following around the best receiver, even though this game might be the best receiver on the planet. Should Seattle be able to bomb? Possibly. Could the Panthers be in a bag? Absolutely. However, if the Seahawks don't blow them out and it's close, I think I like the Panthers in a late, close situation. I just like what Bryce brings to the table. Tony El Tigre, he's taking the Seahawks. He's taking the Seahawks -7.5. He says the Panthers are up and down, and he expects them to be 7 points worse than the number 2 defense, the second best defense in the league. Maybe. Or maybe not. It's possible that the Seahawks just stomp them. And if the Seahawks just stomp them, by the way, I don't know. If the Seahawks stomp them and then go out and then beat the 49ers to get the 1 seed, I think they would be your favorites then. Seriously. If you go Rams, Panthers, again, people want to. Panthers at home is different than Panthers on the road, where we've seen them mostly smoked. So if you go Rams, Panthers at home, 49ers, win that out to get the 1 seed, which Tony, I think, believes that they're going to, then I think you're the favorite in the NFC at that point for sure. Lou is taking the Panthers. He agrees with me. He says that, technically I agree with him because I guess we agree. I'll just put it like that. He says 3 more Darnold picks from the GOAT, Sam Darnold, going to toss around 3 more of them and keep the game close. So I don't think we agree, actually. I think he still has Seahawks winning the game, but it being close, ugly. Hey, look, man, they beat the Colts by 2. And I believe they beat the Colts. I think that was the same situation. No, I think that one was at 4. So, telling you guys, man, that it's such a big thing, man. Every human being is a creature of habit. And I'm telling you guys, this West Coast going East Coast thing against a good home team at 1, not what you want to do or where you want to be. I'm excited, man. Yeah, we got one more preview for y'all, but just want to say again, just thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. I'm excited we can do this for you. So after this one goes live, we're gonna cut some of them up, do individual ones, try to add some spice to some of the individual previews. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys watching, tuning in. If you're live, if you're here, shout out again, people in the chat, people watching live, everyone who catches us a little bit later. Hope you guys enjoy. Comment at the bottom, and we will chit chat with you. Of course, the sub and a like just helps us grow the channel. Keep giving you these football vids, man. So here we go. Chicago Bears 11-4. I mean, what they did last week was just unbelievable. Like Caleb Williams says, here you go. Here's an overtime touchdown dot for you. And just when you thought, like, I couldn't make the best throw you've seen all season, how about another one? And he's just been doing that. Like, he's giving you one of these just what the heck throws every single week the last 3 weeks. He has been incredible. And they're taking on the Niners and Brock Purdy, who are also 11-4. Just real quick about these two guys. I was actually first on both these guys' lists. I was saying, like, Caleb, like, there's no way you should keep Fields over him. Like, get Caleb in there. Like, he was amazing at USC. Brock Purdy, the second I saw him take a snap, actually, in the NFL, I actually went to Tony. To Tony's, we used to be roommates, so I went to Tony's room. I'm like, yo, this guy's better than Garoppolo. Like, he's got something here. But then at the same time, I flipped on him, right? Like, Caleb earlier this year, that the picks he threw against the Lions, I don't know why. I was like, I'm done. But I wasn't really done. I think, like, it's all showing his talent, his ability right now. And I think that's huge, because, again, him and Bryce, we talked about Bryce Young on the previous one, 6 fourth-quarter comebacks this year. That's incredible. And it just seems like every week the Bears are getting better. And he doesn't turn the ball over, and I really like that. But the 49ers, on the other hand, and by the way, the spread, 49ers -3. The 49ers, on the other hand, like, they've been starting to explode. Like, they just had 48 points. Brock Purdy had 5 touchdowns. Everything seems wide open. All of their relevant pieces getting healthy at the right time. Jennings, Kittle, McCaffrey's been good all year. Purdy, playoff experience. And I think a lot of it comes down to, do you think the Bears will be able to run on the 49ers? I thought about this earlier, and I'm just going to stay with my original thought. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm taking the Bears on the road against San Fran +3, and here's why. I think they're going to be able to run the ball on the 49ers. The 49ers kind of struggle running the ball. And I want to keep saying this, that doesn't matter, but they keep turning over good teams in big moments. Brock Purdy's going to throw 2 picks in this game. At least. Maybe 3. He's tossing up 2. Are you kidding me? Against the Bears? Yes. And, like, this is what they do. They got Nashawn Wright. He's got 5 picks, 2 forced fumbles. You got Kevin Byard. He leads the league with 6 interceptions. He is going to love some of those possible lollipops that Purdy's going to throw in the middle. He's going to be lurking on them, waiting for them. Now, if they're able to run the ball, Brock can be good, but if they get into a passing game, and what I mean by passing game is not even necessarily they're down, but just they feel like they have to throw the ball to move it, which is very possible. I mean, they're up, they're top 5 in passing yards per game, so that might just be their strategy anyway. I think you're going to get some turnovers, and I think that with their defensive injuries, I think this is going to be the first time you kind of see a little bit of that lack of their defensive personnel come in, and I think Caleb's going to be able to run around a lot. They're going to be able to run the ball effectively enough to where Salah's going to have to put more people in the box, and that's what opens up some big plays for Caleb on the outside. I like the Bears right now. They're on fire. And even last week's win, it felt weird. But I also felt watching like it was never over. I was waiting. Now, if this week they go out and lose and they don't, because what the problem was, if they would have lost, they never felt like they hit the gear that they ended up hitting. But I know that they're capable. We've seen the Bears go up a level. It's the consistency, and it's more about doing it a little bit earlier in the game. I think Caleb is such a good rhythm player. Talked about sometimes on the script stuff, he's almost, you know what I mean? Maybe not the script stuff, but like early in the game, he's trying so hard to not turn over that they're not as effective. I think the Bears can hold down the 49ers enough for it to be another. I mean, hey, look, they're winning come from behind, and it's possible the 49ers just smoke them. But I don't know. I like what they're doing right now. Tony El Tigre, he is taking the 49ers, he said, in the battle of the run games, he believed in McCaffrey more than Swift and Montague. I just wholeheartedly disagree with them, but I wasn't going to correct them because I don't think it's about them. I think it's about the O-line. And I think McCaffrey, I think he's a better player than both those guys, but a lot of that's because of the receiving game, where I think the more that you throw the ball, even though he catches some screens and some easy stuff, but the more you throw the ball, the more that Bears defense has a chance to pick you off. And Lou says he is taking the 49ers. He says, with a healthy San Fran offense, they just poised too much firepower for Caleb and his dark magic luck to overcome this time. Plus, Caleb is rumored to be dating famous 304 Ash Cash. So he wanted to mention that. I'm not touching that this week. But I will say, that is the thing, right? Like the 49ers offenses look so crazy that yeah. Sorry, I'm reading the rest of their conversation. Once you brought up Ash Cash, kind of went off the rails in the group text. But yeah, hey, look, San Fran's offense has looked amazing. But I think the Colts defense, we've seen them get a little two-pieced recently by the Jags offense. And the Jags offense also is really good too now. So I don't know. Everything is still up in the air. 49ers could come out. And again, if the 49ers win both games, they're the 1 seed. So really interesting scenarios down the stretch here. And remember, the 49ers play the Bears and then the Seahawks. So for them to get the 1 seed, they'd have to win both those games. But I can't say that they can't win both of those games and be the 1 seed. So very, very interested for sure in what happens in this game. Sunday Night Football, Collinsworth and Tirico on the call. And yeah, man, again, thank you guys so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed. I had a great time talking to you guys. Enjoy your holidays, man. Spread cheer, you know what I mean, for the holidays. And yeah, man. We're going to get at least some good football on Saturday and Sunday. So that'll bring us back to where we need to be.